And YouTube right now, because they only have a couple weeks or months left before Trump forces them to stop platforming leftist content above conservative content, they're still trying to do this. Oh, look, we're going to put this on top news. Top news. I have videos with more likes than this, bro. It's top news. No, actually, top news is Elon Musk getting 30 million views in 2 hours on a tweet. What is that? 10,000x more attention than this gets? Bro, look at this. Look at this top news story. It has 129 views. Top national news being put on YouTube as top news. And it has 129 views. This is who the left has become. This is purely emblematic of their psychopathy, believing that they're above reality and that they're above you. This is the reason they lost. But the definition of a psychopath is that they never stop believing that they're better than you until they're held accountable, until they face consequences.
Take the recommendations of the experts and try to follow them to keep themselves in.
Do these people not hear themselves? Listen to the experts after what they did? After what they did to people? Are you kidding me? They think that line works. It's bizarre. It's like someone, okay, in StarCraft terms, strategy video game, it's like someone's trying to play an old version of a map that isn't even competitive and is not possible to play. Like, you've been defeated. This doesn't make any sense. The American people said, you're frauds. This is ridiculous.
He comes not with a query.
Leaders, no one knows who this woman is.
Not with suggesting that we should look at two different points of view or look at things. He's
two different points of view. Oh, we looked at two different points of view. But as a matter of fact, you guys thought there should only be one point of view, to the point where you banned any person that spoke out against COVID for more than a year in a row. You didn't want 2 points of view. But now that we're in power, with a mandate from the American people that is the clearest we've probably seen since the founding of the country. Oh my gosh, no, you're not listening to us. You rejected debate. You demonize free speech and the mechanism of dialogue. I bet ABC 7's telling me the truth. Hello, friends. It is another beautiful day, and we have leftists trying to play out the same playbook, which they've used on Andrew Tate, which they've used on Donald Trump, which they have yet to use on Elon Musk, but really only because he's a nerd from Silicon Valley. That is their playbook of accusing them of sexual misconduct. We have here on YouTube's recommended, which is hilarious. By the way, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and help make sure this channel gets recommended, because we are the journalists now. We are the media. The numbers back this up, on X. X is replacing mainstream media, and I just heard that some of the lead talent from CNN is getting fired and MSNBC is selling itself. Oh no. Or rather, MSNBC is being sold by its parent company because it just, is so unpopular. But we see they're running their playbook. Rather than adapting to reality and understanding that the American people provided a crystal clear mandate, which is, we are done with the left-wing insanity, we are done with the identity politics, the baseless slander of men because you can't engage in coherent frameworks or debate ideas logically. This is what they do. I go to YouTube and I see Trump's nominated defense secretary and attorney general are both accused of sexual misconduct right next to each other. If this isn't clearer proof of the Matrix working in real time in 2024 on the internet, I don't know what is. But this, of course, is even less effective than when they tried it on Andrew Tate, because they had more power in 2022 when they tried to propagate all of the slander against him, which now, of course, is only believed by single cat ladies. But here they have even less control. Even more people have been woken up, especially through the election cycle, which brought tens of millions of new eyeballs to people like Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, X, etc. And then when I click on these videos, which I did already, you see that the coverage is like, oh, well, there was this random accusation from a woman who we're not going to name. The left is trying to maintain the illusion of their moral superiority even after getting absolutely crushed and having it proven to them that the American people see through their fraudulence.
Your voice, your vote. President-elect Trump is fulfilling a campaign promise, nominating Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. This as Trump's transition team was made aware of an investigation into an alleged sexual assault involving Pete Hegseth back in 2017.
Alleged, except that the investigation doesn't even name him.
ABC's Cristiano Cordero has the very latest from...
Donald Trump touted a campaign promise fulfilled, the nomination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services.
He wants to make people healthy.
If confirmed, Kennedy would oversee one of the biggest departments in the government, which includes the CDC.
Why are they even talking about Kennedy? I bet ABC 7's telling me the truth. There's no investigation even into Kennedy.
The FDA, and the Affordable Care Act. Kennedy, who is not a doctor and has no medical training.
Oh, there's the endless slander, right? Yeah, there's the baseless slander. Guess what? This is what the American people rejected already. We don't care about your identitarian coverage. I bet ABC 7's telling me the truth. Look at how terrible of a job the leftist regime did. Fauci, who is a doctor, made things up which have been confirmed. He made up social distancing. He made up masking, lying to people, controlling their lives tyrannically. They think that you should have to bow to them. The American people said, no, we're done with that. Also, we don't believe you anymore. Science is not owned by the left, and it never was, but they acted as though it was because they have no ability to make arguments. They can't convince people based on the merits of ideas. And this is something they're still coping with as they've just been educated in a historic election.
Has endorsed debunked conspiracy theories about vaccines.
I bet ABC 7's telling me the truth. It's hilarious. It's crazy that this parallel information economy that they're trying to propagate gets only 10,000 views an hour when this is their biggest platform, and Elon Musk's tweets get 20 million views in a couple hours. It mimics the narcissism that they have, which tells them that they're above reality and better than you, in the same way that they're told that, oh yeah, we can still say the opposite of the truth despite the fact that everyone sees us as frauds, and the vast majority of people see us as frauds immediately because our views are being dwarfed by 100x or 1,000x. The mainstream media is a dying agency, of course, and it's only representative of what a couple extremely resentful left-wing billionaires want you to see, or focus groups, or, resentful families want you to see who control this media. But what they're doing is they're enshrining their hatred for humanity and proving where all the radicalized left-wing boomers came from.
He vows to shake things up.
In some categories of workers.
It's so perverse, too. Since when... Obviously, I know that this started 8 years ago, but since when did it become acceptable to introduce a man as great as RFK? All of his accomplishments. This man is very accomplished in the government. This man has personal accomplishments. He has a resume a mile long, not to mention an incredibly rich life, and he's one of the most educated people in the world. And this is how they introduce him.
Departments in the government, which includes the CDC, the FDA, and the Affordable Care Act. Kennedy, who is not a doctor and has no medical training, has endorsed debunked conspiracy theories about vaccines. He vows
It's pathetic, given the mandate the American people gave, saying, no, we want this. So again, they're talking down to the American people because they think they're better than you. This is the psychopathy of the left, which will be broken in the next 4 years.
Are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids.
His nomination has drawn criticism from a host of public health leaders.
Public health leaders, no one knows who these people are. No one cares.
He comes not with a query,
Leaders, no one knows who this woman is.
not with suggesting that we should look at two different points of view or look at things. He's
two different points of view. Oh, we looked at two different points of view. But as a matter of fact, you guys thought there should only be one point of view, to the point where you banned any person that spoke out against COVID for more than a year in a row. You didn't want 2 points of view. But now that we're in power, with a mandate from the American people that is the clearest we've probably seen since the founding of the country. Oh my gosh, no, you're not listening to us. You rejected debate. You demonize free speech and the mechanism of dialogue, freaks.
made a determination with no scientific background. That's very dangerous in an agency where people
no one cares what this old lady has to say. It's hilarious. This is hilarious.
Take the recommendations of the experts and try to follow them to keep themselves in.
Do these people not hear themselves? Listen to the experts after what they did? After what they did to people? Are you kidding me? I bet ABC 7's telling me the truth. They think that line works. It's bizarre. It's like someone, okay, in StarCraft terms, strategy video game, it's like someone's trying to play an old version of a map that isn't even competitive and is not possible to play. Like, you've been defeated. This doesn't make any sense. The American people said, you're frauds. This is ridiculous.
And their families safe and
obviously, again, we're dwarfing them in terms of views, but it's still good to mock these people because they're psychopaths.
secure.
Not mentioned at last night's gala, Trump's pick for Attorney General, former Representative Matt Gaetz. But on Capitol Hill, senators are skeptical.
I know he's going to have an uphill battle.
He's got a real steep hill to climb to get
lots of books, including mine.
Gates' nomination came as the House Ethics Committee was wrapping up its report on Gates for alleged sexual misconduct and illicit...
Like this is essentially just a loop of images, sound bites, and then accusations against people's character. This is all they have. They have no arguments. They're dishonest. This is the type of low IQ mental drivel that left-wing boomers and slave minds in the year 2024 actually consume. It's very interesting. Clinical.
drug use, according to sources. Sources also tell ABC News the committee heard from a young woman who said Gates had sex with her when she was just 17 years old. On the young woman's testimony...
It's funny that they think this still works. They moved from the term racist because no one took that seriously anymore. They used to label people racist, and that was the big cancellation term. Then eventually no one cared. Now it's this, and now no one cares again because you did it to Andrew Tate, and it turned out he's totally innocent, and all the women came forward and said he's innocent. So their playbook has been exposed. These are the most immoral, reprehensible people among us that are levying insane accusations that should get them sued. But their biggest punishment will be being judged as psychopaths for eternity. Fraudulent, incompetent psychopaths.
He said the allegations are invented and would constitute false testimony to Congress.
And then here's the other news story, and the comments are turned off because they just get bullied. They get bullied for eternity.
We begin with developing news regarding Trump's pick for defense
dude, it's a clown show.
Secretary. It has to do with a 2017 incident in Monterey involving Pete Hegseth.
Hegseth involved in an alleged sexual assault.
Like, dude, do these mental slaves not realize what they're talking about right now? You're just going to accuse every person that Trump nominates for having sexual misconduct, not realizing that this playbook is old. It doesn't work. No one takes it seriously. This is pathetic stuff. This is really pathetic, sad stuff.
Assault investigation at a hotel. The incident happening on October 8th at the Hyatt Regency Monterey Hotel and Spa. It was reported to police.
And then at a hotel, he looked at a woman, and then she's like, oh my gosh, he has power and money. Maybe I could get some of that.
4 days later, Hegseth, a speaker at the conference during that time frame. According to a statement from the city of Monterey, Monterey police did carry out an investigation. However, the city does not name Hegseth in their report.
The police carried out an investigation. I could launch an investigation against literally anybody by calling the police and saying, I'd like you to start an investigation. And they just admitted that it didn't even name him by name. This is how pathetic these people are. Rather than talking about his qualifications, who he is, the fact that this guy compared to the previous insane freak is an embodiment of how the left is wrong, and an embodiment also of the mandate the American people gave to completely decimate the left-wing idiocy. No, instead of that, we're going to run endless slander against this guy. Oh, I wonder how that's going to go. The thing with resentment is that it is thoroughly disconnected from reality. When you have resentment for objective frameworks, you can't use logic or reason. You can't interface with rationality or objectivity. This makes you definitionally a psychopath because it causes you to believe you're above reality. And that's what you're seeing here, is this unpopular, select few group of leftist billionaires are running this narrative as if it's real. Of course, they're getting dwarfed. And they're acting as if they're the news when we get 1,000 times more views than them on X. Again, this is exemplifying the psychopathy of, like, look, 54 likes. Bro, I have a channel with like 2,000 subscribers, okay? 2,000 subscribers. I have videos with more likes than this. This is insane. Like, do you guys realize how pathetic this is? They're basically just, they have a entity which its sole existence is to slander impressive men. That's all they have. This is utterly corrupt, and this should be put in a museum and eventually we should have museums across the United States where they're like monuments to what the left tried to do. Just as we have Holocaust museums, we should have, and here's a museum where the left tried to run endless disinformation against the American public to subvert and end America for 8 years in a row.
Didn't carry out an investigation. However, the city does not name Hegseth in their report. Trump's communications director says no charges were filed. Hegseth denies any wrongdoing.
Like, this is pathetic. I could create a channel and run this type of exact same thing against her, against this guy, against literally anybody. Not once they talk about his qualifications, who he is, what his plans are, the reason why he won. It's all so psychopathic and insane. But this is who the left is. And YouTube right now, because they only have a couple weeks or months left before Trump forces them to stop platforming leftist content above conservative content, they're still trying to do this. Oh, look, we're going to put this on top news. Top news. I have videos with more likes than this, bro. It's top news. No, actually, top news is Elon Musk getting 30 million views in 2 hours on a tweet. What is that? 10,000x more attention than this gets. Bro, look at this. Look at this top news story. It has 129 views. Top national news being put on YouTube as top news. And it has 129 views. This is who the left has become. This is purely emblematic of their psychopathy, believing that they're above reality and that they're above you. This is the reason they lost. But the definition of a psychopath is that they never stop believing that they're better than you until they're held accountable, until they face consequences. Because they know that they can prey on the weakest, lowest information degenerates in our society. Weak men, scorned single women that are like, boomers and also millennials that have destroyed lives. They've taken many wrong choices in their life, and so they're like, oh yes, of course, this impressive man who I've never seen anything before except that his face looks better than mine, so I'll believe he's a sexual predator. I bet ABC 7's telling me the truth. It's completely pathetic.